This episode is brought to you by Ariston Specialties in Bloomfield, Connecticut. They're makers of amazing olive oils and other Greek delights. Check them out online at aristonspecialties.com. That's Ariston, Ariston, specialties.com. Okay, do you need to throw together lunch or dinner really fast? And that happens to us all the time. So we're going to share our favorite crazy fast meals to make. How about canned oil packed tuna with leftover rice, sliced olives, chopped onion, and feta cheese, maybe a squirt of lemon? 2 minutes. That is a 2-minute meal, and it tastes delicious. Okay, all these people have ideas. This is our new podcast home at faithmiddleton.com. The All-Stars are back. We're going to do them one at a time this time. Chris Prosperi at Metro Beast Restaurant in Simsbury, give us one of your super fast meals that tastes delicious.
I'm one of those fancy shoppers. Whenever I go to the grocery store and I see 10 for $10 on canned beans, I make sure I fill my shopping cart with them. So I always have all kinds of varieties of canned beans. So my go-to quick meal is I take a pan and one of those cans of beans, I drain it, rinse it, get it in the sink. And then I just go to my refrigerator, see what I have, like an onion, a little bacon that I have in there. And that's it. Saute it. I dump my can of beans in there, right? Stir it up. And then if I have some chopped tomato, I'll throw it in there. It's basically a clean the refrigerator thing. And then I have these like quick baked beans, I call them. And wow. It's delicious. Can be healthy. It's simple. And if you're like me, those cans of beans, they come up 10 for $10 all the time. Buy them, keep them in your pantry. They're perfect for like so many different uses, but that's just one of them.
That's like a hobo meal. Yeah. Like you put it on a stick with a handkerchief and like go do it underneath the bridge.
I'll even chop up hot dogs if I have hot dogs in there, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Kielbasa. Yeah.
That's why
an old used cane.
Yeah. It's just in the fridge, but it starts with a can of beans.
Your cart collapses from all the weight. You're the one who breaks the shopping carts.
Or the people behind me are hating me because I'm putting the 10 cans through the automatic checkout one at a time.
So do you ever make this in the summertime?
I make it Faith. This is my, I forgot to bring home food from the restaurant. I'm home on Sunday. I don't want to go out and go to the grocery store or order takeout. This is my go-to all year long because you can make it so many different ways. It can be whatever you have in your refrigerator. It just starts with that can of beans. And it's different every time if you use a different type of bean. Like one day I'll use the little green bean. The one day I'll use the black beans. There's a pink bean. There's a big cannellini bean. So every time you make it, it's different because the beans are different.
And when corn's in season, we cut it right off the cob and then just sort of add some butter to it and toss that all in with green peppers or red peppers and
healthy. Big fan of the canned beans.
So you can have a bean for every different day of the week.
No question.
All right.
My pantry looks like a hoarder when it comes to beans. It's like they can stack 3 high in my pantry cabinet.
Can you tell that I don't know what these guys are going to say? I'm a little flabbergasted.
I don't want to talk to these guys anymore.
No. Okay, now look, we also have Alex Province, who lives in Madison. Alex, he's one of our wine guys too. Alex, what's your quick thing?
So mine's not as quick. I didn't know how quick we were going, but I love lentils. It's kind of a Spanish thing in French and American, I guess everywhere. Everyone has lentils, but I take lentils. First, I take a heavy bottom stock pot, some olive oil, just saute some garlic and onions, and then add stock. And I actually saute chorizo. You know, the real Spanish kind, if you can get it. And, and if it's cured, I sort of chop it and sort of render the orange fat out into the onions. And then if you can get the uncooked kind that you can't eat raw, it's more like raw sausage, then you pierce that and you throw that in with stock, your lentils, your dried lentils, a bay leaf, smoked paprika, and basically you just simmer it for 40 minutes to an hour, maybe some carrots, leeks if you want, whatever kind of vegetable. And then that with bread, and it's so easy and healthy, tons of iron, just one of my favorite go-tos. So not a lot of prep, but you do have to wait 40 minutes. So I guess not that quick.
Yeah, but you don't have to do anything, right, Alex? You can just leave it on the stove. You don't have to be there for it. Put just it on a simmer.
Cover it and simmer. Yeah.
Yeah. And feeds a lot of people.
Yeah.
Leftovers.
Yes, that's a good party food, actually. That would be really fun. So we're going to go to Mark Raymond in Wethersfield next. However, here's the thing. We have Mark Raymond, as we said, who is from Wethersfield. And Mark, tell me about, he's one of the all-stars here. Tell me about what your go-to fast thing is.
So my go-to, whether it be lunch or dinner, depending, and the kids are around and this time of year, and we always have leftover chicken or some sort of steak in the refrigerator. So what I'll do is I'll take the leftover chicken and steak, I'll slice it up real thin. I'll take a tortilla, put it into a pan, put a little bit of cheese, start to heat it up so the cheese melts in there, throw the meat in, throw another tortilla on top. If I've got some roasted peppers around, I might throw that in, maybe some scallions, and then I'll make some quesadillas. And it's just an easy go-to. There's always something you can throw in a quesadilla, whether it's leftover chicken or leftover beef. If you want to do it with just vegetables, it's great.
Black beans.
You got black. We can throw in crispy beans. Yeah. A bean quesadilla would work for sure. And then, if you happen to have some, a jar of salsa laying around, you've got a topping for it and you're ready to go. And it's simple.
Sour
and
cream.
And there's plenty,
guacamole.
Yeah.
Now that makes me hungry, I have to say. Okay. I was wondering, Mark, we have a wine, we try and do lots of naturally made, meaning no junk in these wines and not expensive. We try mostly to find those. So you're going to hear us talking about things that are like $11, maybe up to 20 or something, unless it's a gift wine. So Mark, can we talk about this wine you have called Carolina Chardonnay?
Yeah. So this is
because it goes with this kind of food, all these little fast things, and it's weeknight wine. Go ahead.
Absolutely. This is a fresh, easy drinking Chardonnay. It's made in Chile. It's made by the Santa Carolina winery. Carolina Chardonnay is all grown in the coastal valley of Leyte Valley. It's the 2019 vintage. It's wonderfully fresh. It's got beautiful sort of green apple notes and a little bit of pear, but they do a little bit of oak expression here with the wine. So you get a little bit of that wonderful sort of creaminess and sort of vanilla and on the finish. It's got a vanilla, really nice cream.
Yeah.
A really nice creaminess to it.
And this is about $11. I can't even. And you know what? So this is one of those wines I call a crossover. This is it's Brescombe Barton, right?
Brescombe Barton is distributor, yes.
So you just say that at your wine store, and that's they will bring it in really, really fast, and you're going to find it's around $11. So this is a crossover wine to me, where if I had lobster, and I would be lucky, I would be saying, hey, this goes, because there's like a whisper of that oak you were talking about.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if I had any of your other things, even Alex, your chorizo, with the rest of your stuff, and I didn't have a stock, so I put in chicken broth or something in the pan with your chorizo, I would love this wine with it. It just crosses over into a bunch of different territories.
I love wines like that.
They're so friendly. You can have them whenever, while you're cooking, after you've done cooking.
Yes.
Add them to your cooking.
No, I do, until I get in trouble by Matt. But I always pour some of my wine in, to deglaze a pan or whatever.
Yeah.
These are also the wines
I
I
actually
like
pour
in a
his wine.
restaurant, right? Because if you're
What?
all eating different things at the table, it's one of those wines you don't have to be like, oh, we need a bottle of red because he's having a steak and a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc because they're having shot. You know what I mean? This is one of those wines that you can put on the table, and it doesn't matter what you all order, right? It'll go with just about everything.
And not too oaky. So if someone likes Sauvignon Blanc, they're not going to feel like they're drinking something too strong. And if you like a little oak, you get a little of it. So it pleases a lot of people.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Okay, so that's Santa Carolina. Their Chardonnay, it's the reserve. It's about $11, and it's the kind of wine where you can just whip it out if people just suddenly appear in your yard or in your apartment, and you can just whip it out and start pouring it around. You don't even have to have food. You know how the French are
You have to know these people?
Upset. No. Okay, so Mark and I are downing this as fast as we can, and our associate producer Joanne Church. We're saying, "Oh, this is really." Hey, okay, so let's do quick ideas. Go one round robin of this. So I thought sliced Italian bread the long way, one of those supermarket loaves, and smear it with soft goat cheese, a couple slices of prosciutto, maybe some sliced tomatoes. And so I wrote that down. I was just looking down at my notes. And then all of a sudden I said to myself, what am I doing? That's like half a grinder. It's like, and I thought, I just love those things together. Yeah. I just do. I wish someone would make a goat cheese grinder. That would be delicious. Okay, here's another idea. Cook salmon fillet with, a small plastic container of real pesto. They make all kinds of pesto now. Yeah. You could add rice or pasta and mix it all up in a bowl, or you can just have your filet with a couple of spoonfuls of that on it. What are you thinking?
What I love is when you go to the grocery store, you can find those pita breads. They're round. They're about 6 inches. Yeah. I like keeping those in my freezer because to me, it's like a quick pizza. And again, it can be whatever you have in your fridge. I just always have like a little marinara sauce and some grated cheese, and then you can put whatever, but it makes the perfect little round individual pizza, right? So you could put little chicken on it or whatever you have, and pop it in the oven at 450, melt it, get the pita crispy. And then, like I said, it's like an instant pizza.
Yeah,
I love that.
Good.
Love that idea.
I'm back with Faith with the those cans of tuna and olive oil. Are my favorite. You get them. They're not super expensive. For like $4, you get a can that feeds several people. Yep. So a salad, lemon juice, a little red wine vinegar, salt, hard-boiled eggs that you can make ahead of time. If you have green beans, great, but throw any kind of vegetable, and then the egg and that tuna, pour the olive oil on the salad as well. And it's just something about that egg and tuna combo with the lemon vinaigrette and sea salt. So healthy, simple, refreshing, with a glass of Chardonnay.
Nice.
That's dinner.
Yeah, rosé. Oh boy, that sounds really good.
Classic Niçoise salad.
Well, okay,
almost,
this is right back at you, Alex, because I want to go back to your. Wait, who said that the rotisserie chicken? Was it you? Yes, Alex. I think it was. Was it you? Who said rotisserie chicken? Did
Mark does his quesadilla with leftover chicken.
So I was going to say, how about a rotisserie chicken? You just, if you want to take the skin off, you can, and you just pull the meat off of it, and then you mix it with. I have containers of rice in my freezer. Every time I go to an Indian or a Chinese restaurant for delivery, they hand me about a gallon of rice, and I just keep throwing them in the freezer. And then I take it out with my tuna or whatever, and then just 30 seconds in the microwave. So I was thinking, if you pull the meat off a chicken and you mix it with either rice or pasta or olives or the pesto we were talking about, or maybe even salad dressing in a bottle, whatever you've got around, mix it up. Yeah. Oh my God, kids love that kind of thing.
I want to say one thing though. Everything everyone mentioned today would go perfect with some of my beans.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
Except they're out of
Faith.
stock because you bought them all.
Faith, to your point on that whole rice thing, I came home the other day and Daniel had come home in the afternoon from football practice and he wanted to make himself something for lunch. And we had one of those leftover containers of rice. And he said, he never cooks. So he whipped out one of those containers of rice. He threw in some scallions, some onions, a little bit of chopped broccoli into a pan, started sauteing it, threw in the rice, some soy sauce, and then threw in some leftover chicken, and he made himself a stir fry. I was like,
that boy's ready to go to college.
He's unbelievable.
What has happened to you?
I said, where did you get that inspiration? He says, well, I listened to the Food Schmooze.
Oh, God. Oh, geez. I knew I loved that, Daniel. Wow. Well,
Hey,
this
with that leftover rice, you can make really great breakfast out of it. If you just take cooked rice, you put it in a saucepan with milk and enough milk to sort of make it wet and liquidy, bring it up to a boil with like cinnamon, sugar, and butter. It makes a great porridge. I think it's a Southern thing, but it's really good if you're trying to make space.
First of all, I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. I'm not kidding. I'm going to do that.
Good.
I'm going to see what it's like, try this out. That's number one. And number two, I now eat rice at every single lunch, and every single day. I'm beginning to look down at myself and say, this is not a good idea. You have to stop this. You have to stop saving this rice. Okay. Hey, listen. Yes, it's the Food Schmooze Party, all brand new episodes exclusively here at our new website and podcast home. If you want to get it, you just go to faithmiddleton.com because it's easier to spell. And on behalf of Chris Prosperi, Alex Province, and Mark Raymond, Joanne Church, our associate producer, we'll see you next time.